I'd like it known on the record that I am literally only watching this show because you guys asked now. That said, this episode was actually kind of good. But yes, hello everybody, welcome back to our weekly Rent-A-Girlfriend discussion video, and I guess at this point I may as well just finish the dang thing. But yes, we are here to talk all about episode 10, Friend's Girlfriend. But before we get into that, quick reminder, if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, and if you've already hit that subscribe button, why not consider hitting that join button? Get yourself a nifty badge next to your name, some emotes you can use in the comments and Premiere chats, if that sounds cool to you. Hit that join button, and also the sub button if you haven't done so yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, I was not going to watch this. If I was watching this show at my leisure, I probably would have stopped either last week or the week prior. And yet here I am, speaking before a microphone about Rent-A-Girlfriend, and why? Because you all told me to watch this episode. You're like, trust us. I know what we said. So many manga fans were like, listen, what you're going through right now, so did we. Just at this point, you're in it, dude. You're in it. You may as well stick with it. The next episode's good. Trust me. So I was like, fine. All right. I didn't listen to you before. I'll listen to you now. This episode better be good. And yeah, it is. I'm genuinely kind of shocked. It actually is pretty good. It actually reminds me of like the early episodes when I was really into Rent-A-Girlfriend. I'm like, oh yeah, before you introduced Ruka and ruined everything. But I hope you didn't think that by my rosy tone of voice that she wasn't going to be in this episode, because oh no, she is. Of course. Of course she is. I wish I was dead every time she's on screen. I like actively hate this character, and what's worse is that you could tell that you're supposed to sympathize. I've seen people in the comments go like, I feel her, but the amount of comments that I got that were saying, not like, bro, you don't understand. Like, I got that early on, like when the Ruka stans really were furious that I didn't like her. But for the most part, those stans have stopped watching these videos. And it's just, you know, the rather rational side of the Rent-A-Girlfriend fandom, slash, I guess, the good folks who watch these videos. It still amazes me that people even come back for these videos. But nevertheless, I really friggin' appreciate it. But I got a good amount of comments last week, and you can go check them out for yourself if you feel like it. But a good amount of comments saying, I like Ruka, but I respect that you don't. And it's like, cool. I also respect that you like Ruka. I do not. That's where I'm at with the character. I really actively dislike this character. I think she is bad. I think she is poorly written, and I do not like her. I really actively dislike her, in fact. I don't want to say that I hate her, because I don't really think about her after an episode's over. Like if I hate a character, hate is so strong, right? Like, to hate a character, it takes a well-skilled creator to make you hate a character, you know? Like, I hate characters like Akito Soma. I hate characters like Rachel from Tower of God. And, to use an example from this friggin' show, I hate Mami-chan. I actively think about Mami-chan every so often. I'll be like, man, that girl's like Mami-chan, you know what I mean? Like, that character, she was a great antagonist. She was a great, like, roadblock or rival or whatever you want to call her. She was great. But she ain't here. You know who is? Ruka, who they're trying to make you sympathize with, and it don't work. At least not for me. Even in this episode, man, what is she doing? Like, look at what she's doing. How is she the way that she is? How? Like, actively showing up at this man's workplace, knowing he worked there, stalker, knowing he worked there, got a job there, and the instant he does anything that she doesn't like, she goes to their boss, and I have to emphasize, their boss. They both work together. She goes to the boss and says, he's bullying me, dock his pay. And I know that this scene is meant to be played as a joke, but it didn't feel like a goddamn joke, because that's the character. She's not nice. In fact, it's even addressed here that she's not nice. Do you think for even half a second, that if she didn't get like the little heartbeat speed up, you know, like if her heart didn't go all aflutter when Kaz was around, you think she'd give this man the time of day? Do you really honestly think that? Hell no. Ruka's not a nice person. Like, she's just not nice, man. Like, I really actively dislike this character. Like, even when he says, like, hey, listen, it's about Kuri. And she's like, oh, yeah, like, I don't really care about Kuri. I kind of moved on from that situation, like, a long time ago. And even Kaz is like, damn, like, that's mean. And she's like, yeah, but, like, I guess I feel kind of bad. But, like, at the same time, like, you followed us. It's like, no. Don't even try to turn this around on Kaz. Like, you embarrassed Kuri in front of Kaz. And then you even admit in this moment that the only reason you did that was so that you could eventually get to a point where you could date him. You were willing to have Kaz's best friend fucking hate him to get yourself, to insert yourself into this man's life. Screw you. Like, honestly, you're in some ways, even though at the very least, like, you have earnest intentions, and I've said before, like, Ruka does have a point about the whole, like, Mizu Kaz thing, like, you two need to shit or get off the pot, because, like, you can't keep dancing this dance. She is so either just immature or just doesn't give a shit that, honestly, to an extent, I think she's a worse person than Mami-chan. Like, that's really gonna make people upset. Okay, maybe not worse, but I think the things that she does are actively worse, even though she's not necessarily a worse person, just does things that I'm like, wow, even Mami-chan wouldn't do that to be mean, you know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't even think about that, because that's, like, just why the hell would you do that? Just, I don't know, Ruka really bothers me. But who cares? It's not about her. My god, this is actually a Kuri episode, which is like, what? He's not in the episode a whole bunch, but when he is, it's genuinely really sweet. He basically gets set up on a date with Mizu. That's why the episode's called Friend's Girlfriend. And honestly, I thought the date was kind of sweet. Like, in a lot of ways, it reminded me of early, like, as I said at the beginning of the video, it reminds me of early Rent-A-Girlfriend, where it's just, it's definitely, like, a funny situation. It's like, how did we get here? But at the same time, like, once we get in that position, it doesn't feel, like, bad or anything. It's just sort of like, yeah, I guess we got here because, like, stuff happened in a comedic way, and now we're gonna have this kind of sweet moment. And it's like, yeah, like, they're in the situation, they're gonna make the best of it, and it's actually kind of sweet in a lot of ways. Like, Kuri as a character in general, I feel like, yes, he's a major dork, and yeah, he could be a bit of a sleaze, and by a bit, I mean a lot. But at the same time, you could just tell he's a sweet dude. He's just, like, he's trying, you know? Like, he just doesn't quite understand how the whole girlfriend thing works. He doesn't quite understand how to, you know, be a ladies' man. He's trying, though. He really is. And honestly, I just feel bad for the guy. Like, I just kind of feel bad for him. Even when Mizu shows up, I initially thought, like, ooh, I don't know. Like, I understand why you're doing what you're doing, but I don't know if maybe this is the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, okay, Kaz, I don't disagree with you, but, like, I don't know if I would have sent Mizu without telling Kuri what's going on, because, like, maybe you could have upset him and he could have, like, walked away from the situation. There's even a point where Kuri says, like, is he trying to, like, make fun of me? I don't know what's going on here. Like, at first he doesn't even, like, he's like, okay, she's a rental girlfriend, but what if maybe she's not a rental girlfriend? What if, like, they're just doing this to make fun of me? And that's honestly, like, what I was worried about, is that Kuri would assume that they're making fun of him and just walk away. That doesn't happen, thank goodness. But, like, I was a little bit concerned. But I do think at the end of the day, the way that Kaz and Mizu did this was actually probably the smartest way. Like, for me, for my money, I would have just, like, if I was Kaz, I would have just told Kuri what's going on and brought Mizu with me and just been like, she's my rental, we're not actually dating, I'm really sorry, I should have told you, my bad, right? Like, and please don't become an incel. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I think at the end of the day, Kaz and Mizu were right to start with the date, because at least this way, like, Kuri learns, like, hey man, not all girls are the friggin' worst. You know, I almost said girlfriends, but, like, let's be real, they're not girlfriends, they're rentals. But, like, in general, all girls are not Ruka. Girls, you know, they're not gonna break your heart and be mean to you. Sometimes rental girlfriends are, you know, gonna be there to be a band-aid for you. They can't fix the problem completely. Time is what's gonna heal the wound, but of course you need something to place over the wound so it doesn't bleed the hell out. So yeah, like, I do like that that's how That's how Mizu sells it, right? She's like, well, like, we're not, like, you're right. Like, I'm not going to be able to fix everything for you, but I can be a Band-Aid to place over the wound, right? And it's like, that's very sweet. Like, I like the way that she described it. And honestly, I'm glad Curry's not going to become an incel, because honestly, like, ew. And he very easily could have. He could have written off, like, all women, like, if she breathes, she's a thought. You know, like, he could have gone that direction. Thankfully not, and I do think that the talk with Kaz was also very sweet. Kaz basically hijacks the date for like a second, and Mizu even gives them time, like, hey, I'm gonna run to the bathroom, I'll be right back. Right, gives them the time to sort of talk, and yeah, the two of them sort of, you know, have a laugh over like, oh, these rentals, ha ha ha, like, this crazy situation we've both gotten ourselves into, and blah blah blah, and Curry laughs about, like, I can't believe you got yourself into this mess. Like, this, like, I thought that my situation was bad. Yours is crazy. Like, holy crap. Like, Curry has a straight up, like, he's, like, busting the gut laughing. And in fairness, like, if my friend told me that shit, I'd probably laugh about as hard. Like, I'd be like, how did you possibly get into this situation? It's insane. But, yeah, it is sweet. And you can tell, like, there's a genuine, like, bond between these two. Like, they really do. They really are friends. Like, they really do share a pretty tight-knit bond, and I really dug it. And also the ending, too, is interesting and leads into the whole balcony scene with Curry saying, like, hey, Mizu, like, is it possible for a rental to fall in love with a rentor, right? And at first I thought maybe he was asking about Ruka, and I'm like, oh, Curry, baby, no, sweetheart, no. Like, no, sweetheart, she never cared about you. Or, yeah, she never cared about you. Curry, just move on. But no, I think Curry was legit asking in regards to Kaz. Like, I think he knows that Kaz has a thing for Mizu. And so, I mean, who wouldn't, you know? Like, Mizu's the friggin' best. Even though lately she has been kind of rock stupid, but, like, whatever, the writing put her in that position. So he asks, you know, like, can a rental fall in love with a rentor? And she doesn't really respond. She gets basically a flashback to Kaz asking her to go on the date with Curry. But the main takeaway for me is that she says, like, who knows, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know, right? And, like, Curry's just kind of like, okay, interesting. Good talk, right? And I kind of want to see Curry be the new sort of, like, the new character who knows, you know, like, the character who they can sort of count on to get them out of, like, tight spots. Like, I like the idea of, like, they get into a position where they're out with their friends and, like, suddenly Mizu and Kaz are gonna get caught, and Curry's like, like, and Curry can, like, think of a way out of it, because, you know, Kaz at the end of the day, like, yes, he lied to him, but at the end of the day, that's his boy, right? So he's gonna want to help him, and I think that after the date, he probably likes Mizu too. Not in, like, the same way as Kaz, obviously, but just in a, like, you showed me that not all people are trash, and that, you know, not everybody's gonna try to drop kick my heart into infinity. So, you know, I respect you in that sense, and I hope that's the case, because honestly, I thought the Curry and Mizu date was, as I said, very, very sweet, and hopefully a sign of things to come with the whole Sumi thing. Let's talk about that. So yeah, Sumi gets, finally, at the 11th hour, this character gets a title, well, like a name drop. And it's like, oh shit, like, I kind of forgot you were in the show. There's 2 episodes left, so I don't know what the character's gonna do, but she's here, I guess. A lot of people have told me, like, bro, please just hang on till Sumi shows up. Please just hang on till Sumi shows up. And I'm like, fine. Right? So it's like, all right. And at this point, there's only 2 episodes left. I'm gonna finish it, right? So it's like, all right, I'm gonna keep, and when I say finish it, I don't just mean watch it on my own. I'm gonna keep making videos on it. There's 2 episodes left. Like, it'd be silly not to. If there was 3, it was more debatable, but this episode actually turned out to be pretty good, so here we are. But yeah, Sumi showing up at the 11th hour is interesting. What I really like is the reason why Sumi shows up, namely the fact that Mizu says, like, hey, listen, you got me to do a favor for you, even though you still paid me. I'm gonna need you to do a favor for me now. And that's really interesting. The idea that Mizu is basically going to be acting as maybe like a mentor, or has been acting as sort of a mentor. right? Where she's like, okay, so I need you to take care of, or not take care of, but like take out this this upcoming rental girlfriend. She's super shy and she needs a little bit of practice. So tag, you're it. You're the only one I really trust. And it's like, that's sweet that you trust Kaz, I guess. And in fairness, like, why wouldn't she? You know, Kaz has saved her life. He's been mostly a good dude. Mostly. So yeah, like, he's our recycling bin because, you know, he's not quite our boy, but he is our recycling bin. And he's a recycling bin that's on the table. Good for you if you got that reference. Nobody's gonna get that reference. Anyway, it's sweet, right? And to me, I really liked this scene. Now, I don't know if maybe this is very much like a personal thing, but I loved the atmosphere, right? Where like Kaz gets dressed up and but meanwhile Mizu's wearing like her glasses and her hoodie, and like honestly Mizu with the glasses and hoodie does something for me. I don't know why. I just think she looks way better. But Mizu with the glasses and the hoodie, and Kaz attempts to dress up, you know, but like I think he kind of realized halfway through, like, what the hell am I doing? Like we're just sitting on the balcony. What the hell am I doing? And they have that wall dividing them, right? Sort of splits them. But they can still see each other if they lean out a little bit, right? So they can still see each other. And it's the atmosphere of it. Like it's a chilly, I believe Christmas just passed, so it's still sort of like a chilly spring. Maybe it's become spring. Maybe it's like the end of winter. It's just that chilly time of the year. And you're looking out off the balcony at the skyline, and you're with somebody you care about. I love the atmosphere in that scene. Like, if they were dating, you know that there'd be like the head lean on the shoulder and shit like that. It's just super friggin' sweet, and I really, really loved. I really, really loved the atmosphere of it. I thought it was really solid. I also like the fish. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Kaz is like a fish in a fish tank, and it like talks now. There's actually like a few moments where the show like breaks the fourth wall in this episode. Like the one dude's like looking at us, like the audience, and like pointing at the other dude who's like, hey, you might have forgotten this guy. He was in like the bar episode. Remember that? Yeah, that was crazy. And the other dude's like, what are you talking about? Like, they don't like outright say those words. It's just like writing in the background where you see the characters like thinking stuff, and he's like, what are you talking about? It's really, really funny. But yeah, like the little touches throughout the whole episode. And I really dug it. I also loved that Mizu asked Kaz specifically, like, hey man, while we're here, how's everything with you? Like, how's things with that Mami-chan girl? Like, how's everything there? And Kaz is like, answers honestly. He's like, good, I guess. Like, I'm pretty sure she stopped thinking about me completely. But at the same time, I kind of stopped thinking about her too. And I'm like, wow, Kaz, that's very grown up. Like, good for you, dude. Like, I'm genuinely kind of impressed. Now, mind you, it's sort of bittersweet, because on the sweet side, like, yay, Kaz grew up. He did the right thing. He's moving on. Good for you, dude. On the other hand, it means we'll probably not see Mami-chan, at the very least for the rest of the season, if this ever gets to season 2, or the rest of the show, God help us. And that sucks, because Mami-chan's the way better rival character. But yeah, we probably won't see Mami-chan again. Instead, we got Ruka. Sumi better be worth it! And on that note though, everybody, I am going to wrap up today's video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then don't forget to boop that up snoot and share if you care. And of course, as always, I have to give a big, big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all of these beautiful names. And hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are now 2 ways to do so. The first is by checking out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, and the second, for just a little bit more, is by hitting that join button next to the sub button. That gets yourself a nifty badge next to your name, and some emotes that you can use in the chat, and of course your name at the end of these videos. So if that sounds cool to you, consider checking out either one of those 2 options. I'd super appreciate it. Thank you guys so much if you're even thinking about it. But with that said, everybody, I am going to go get myself a nice cold glass of agua. Don't know why I told you that, but that is what I'm going to do. And until next time, you stay classy, AndyTube, and wash your dang hands.